All right, I want to make this kind of quick. I saw the Mandalorian and Grogu movie after just not being interested in it because why? And much to my surprise, after watching the movie, I was right. Um, the movie is nothing. Like it's a giant nothing. There's no stakes. Nothing really bad happens. Nothing really exciting happens. Nothing even remotely fundamentally interesting even goes on. I wouldn't even give it credit for saying that this could have easily been put into the show because ultimately it would have been like, what was the point? It's just a one-off random adventure for the Mandalorian and Grogu, but at the same time, it was one of the most uninteresting aspects of Mandalorian and Grogu doing anything. Like it just was boring. It was a very boring movie to look at. As much as I've heard people say that it was fun, it wasn't even fun. It wasn't stuff happening that you could kind of brush off as like, well, this isn't a part of the main storyline from the show, but something that would be interesting or fun to look at in the movie. Typically, what you kind of get from anime movies and whatnot, where it's like, all right, yeah, this is just a random non-canon thing that's happening, but you can enjoy these characters do these interesting things. With this, it just seems like they were pandering so much for uninteresting aspects. Like, hey, the Mandalorian's not poisoned, so he's like weak, and so we're seeing Grogu do stuff on his own. But so, and then it was multiple times in the movie where it was like, well, the situation can easily be solved if Grogu could just remember that he's got fucking force powers, and then you could just get out of this. But they didn't. Like, they would randomly choose when they wanted him to actually remember he's a force user. And there was literally a part where he was trapped inside of like a freaking cage, and like he could have easily just got out of it, but nah. But then at the end of the movie, he's lifting up Jabba the Hutt's son with both, with relative ease because he wasn't like struggling and almost died or anything from doing it. He just did it. So moments like that were just ridiculous throughout the entire movie, and it's sad because the whole movie was just filled to the brim with that, and it wasn't anything good. It was just lackluster and bad. And it's sad to say to where the third season of The Mandalorian Grogu at least had something going on. Hell, seeing a bunch of Mandalorians fight a bunch of these Veskar armor wearing robots was that at least was something. And then still seeing the Black Blade being used, that was something. But yeah, I mean, like the third season was a huge letdown. But even still, it's like, yeah, this felt as if it just desperately needed something going on, and it just really didn't. So ultimately, this movie's a wash. I wouldn't even give it the credit of like, like, hey, like this was actually something that was worth a damn. But considering all the factors attached to it, that's another aspect that makes this movie just kind of a real big letdown more than anything else, is the fact that after so many years of Star Wars not releasing a movie and Disney doing everything they can to promote and try to persuade people that they're going to start doing good with the Star Wars brand, this movie is a huge letdown for that. Not only that, but this movie is also very, very just dumb. Like, it just, so many dumb things are in it, and it just doesn't really have any type of explanation behind it. Hey, Sigourney Weaver's in it. Why? I don't know. Hey, the dude who keeps screwing up Star Wars is in it. Why? Hey, there's a guy from the Star Wars Rebel show in it. Why? And it's like there's like stuff in there where it's like key jingling nonsense, but it's not really anything that's really holds any weight towards the series. Hell, they kept having the dude from the Star Wars Rebel show, which I only found out because other people knew who that guy was. They kept having him talk to the Mandalorian as if they were like cool, but I've never seen them interact in the TV show. So, and if they did, then I just forgot. That's just how forgettable that person is. But it's like, it was one of the things was like, he's like on like the front poster of the movie as if he's like fucking important. The dude don't do anything. No one does anything. It's just, it was a really boring movie. And I honestly, I just gotta constantly say that because I feel as if multiple people who gave this movie a pass or they gave it like some praise or anything like that were very much pandering for Disney hard. Because there's there's nothing redeemable about this movie. Again, like even some of the most intriguing or interesting or fun aspects of the original Mandalorian TV show weren't even in this movie. So him being very meticulous with his stuff, like having skills that realistically allow him to do what he does that's outside of the realm of what other people are typically willing to do, bringing up or talking about his issues with droids or having those types of things. There were so many small little things that gave his character depth in the show, and this movie went out of its way to not even showcase or highlight those moments, which would have either allowed someone to go, hey, maybe I need to go watch the show, or at least allow you to know like there's more to this character than what I'm seeing, because he does come from a TV show. So it was just a bad excuse of a series that was just realistically meant to cash grab on two characters that kind of was the only positive thing to come out of Disney Star Wars. And the problem is that by the time Disney was done molding it into the crap that it is now, when they released this movie, they didn't understand, or most of the people who try to praise this as a good thing don't understand, that it's no longer the shining light of good that could have came out of Star Wars from Disney, but instead it turned into basically everything else that is wrong with Disney Star Wars. And ultimately, this is coming from somebody that's not a big time Star Wars fan, but I know enough to know what I like, and this is not something that any rando normie would probably get a kick out of or like. But ultimately, it's something that's like, hey, if you're interested in looking at the Mandalorian TV show, fine. But if you're someone who thinks that this movie is something that you could just jump into and be cool with, you can. But ultimately, nothing goes on or nothing of value actually happens. So you're not missing out anything, and you're not going to gain anything. It's just ugh. So yeah, that's my review of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I finally got around to watching it. I didn't like it.